Another Northern California crime made headlines for years. In 1981, 4 Plumas County residents were brutally murdered. That case has never been solved. In tonight's special assignment, John Iender says now there is new life in that investigation.
Life goes on pretty peacefully here in Quincy, and the 4,800 residents like it just that way. But 2 decades ago, Plumas County was rocked by an horrific multiple murder. It happened down this road in the Feather River Canyon at the tiny resort of Keddie. Keddie was founded in 1910 along the railroad tracks. This fashionable hotel with a famous bar and restaurant were its centerpiece. Surrounding it were 33 cabins. Keddie was such a popular tourist stop, the Zephyr used to bring in guests from Sacramento, even as far as San Francisco. But in April of 1981, Keddie's idyllic reputation was bloodied.
Most people do.
Margaret Wirt has lived nearby for 35 years. She remembers the shock of her children.
They said, "Mom, you better close the doors." And I said, "What happened?" And he said, "There was a murder in Keddie." And I said, "Keddie?"
My photographer and I then rushed Chopper 13 to the scene and began putting together the details of a grisly crime. Murdered in this cabin were a young mother, Glenda Sue Sharp, her 15-year-old son, John, and a neighbor, 17-year-old Dana Wingate. I reported then that the investigators were horrified by the carnage in the cabin. Using a butcher and steak knife and a claw hammer, the assailant or assailants murdered the 3. But there was more. Glenda's daughter, Tina, was also missing.
She's a girl of 12 years of age with shoulder-length hair. It's dark blonde in color, and she has light blue eyes. We're trying to locate Tina. We believe that she's an integral part of this and that she may be the clue that we're looking for.
At the time, many Keddie residents didn't seem very affected by the bloodshed.
Did you move up here for the security?
No, I just moved up here because I like it.
You still like it?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I still have my original reporter's notes that I took on this story more than 20 years ago. I wrote down the cabin number as 28. Well, there it is, and it hasn't changed much.
After the murder, this cabin was sealed up tight. People began to depart the resort. Decay moved in, and then the rumors started. There was a ghost in number 28. Those who opened the door were greeted with gruesome images and sounds that drove them away screaming. There were suggestions the cabin might be replaced by a memorial park, but that never happened.
Well, in 2 decades, I've certainly changed, but here at Keddie, things have sort of stood still. Except there is one change.
Josh Hancock is a documentary maker who convinced the families to cooperate to get their story on national TV. Hancock interviewed me for the documentary, then I him.
I have hope that it will be solved one day. It's hard 22 years later to think that it would be, but it's happening. You know, we turn on the news all the time and we see crimes being solved today that took place a long time ago.
Relatives of the victims have also agreed now to come forward.
After seeing other things on the news, you know, after even older than this, they've been solved, so I know this one can be solved. And we just have to stick to it and have somebody, you know, on our side do it.
3 years after the bloodshed in this cabin, the body of kidnapped Tina Sharp was found near Oroville. From that evidence and what was collected in Keddie, investigators believe they can now make a DNA profile. Then perhaps they can match it with other criminals solving this long-running mystery. That would put a lot of Plumas County residents at ease.